Any skipping going on? And make sure we're not skipping. Alright, so we changed out the tiles. Right now, this is the black version. We have one that's actually more... it transfers light back and forth, but it's not as clear as the other one. The other one basically transfers. You can see the Coke bottle on the other end. So first things first, before we get into it, my name is Kenneth Bird, and my company is ILEG, Infusion Light Energy Gain. And this is another version of AdTech. So AdTech has several different versions. As I said before, we had the clear one we were showing off that has the lights and the halo system. This one right here is the black version of it. And there's two types of these. One's actually going to be a little bit more transparent, used for other applications. And there's another one that's actually completely, really dark. It transfers light, but it's super dark. And this is going to be for when we take projectors, ultra short throws. We can put those ultra short throws behind the screen, and you can have now like a TV style kind of setup with your ultra short throw that'll transfer the image through, pick up a infinity 1 contrast level. Doesn't make a difference what projector you choose. So this is actually the darker version of it. I'm pretty sure we'll be showing up the gaming version of it too, also too. So I was going to swap the screens out. It's just laying against the other screen. This one picks up a much more advanced contrast level than the other one. Oops. Smallest surface of this one was the one that was downstairs in the office. I showed you at my friend's place, at his place, downstairs in his office unit. That's this one right here. It has rear projection capabilities. So it can be used for front and rear, but we have another one that's actually much darker. Light can transfer through it, but it'll be to kill off like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 direct light sitting in front of it, and they're perfect for what we need for the ultra short throws because you don't need lamp glare coming through. Which comes up nice and bright, fully lit environment. Like 720p projectors are absolutely insane. We have sound with this? What if we do? Oh, sounds all the way up. It sounds like there with that. As you see, it has beautiful color balance. And again, 10% technology. All of it's 10%. So we're missing a few key elements for it. You know, I'm kind of used to seeing the Coca-Cola bottle, but now, you know, this is a different type of screen. Hey, where's the music at? There it is. Jeez. How many times are we gonna spin these ice cubes? There we go. This cereal was nothing but honey. Literally, the cereal was nothing but honey. Let me see something, mate. Wait, do I do that? Because my hand stops in the middle of that. I'm not basically trying to, I don't know why I would do that. I've been showing this thing up all week long. So it's there, it's not here. Definitely, wait a minute. There we go. I was like, wondering, I was thinking stuttering, like I said, it's not here, it's there. There we go. No, we don't have to do this to block anything from the camera. We've been showing this thing off all week long, so yeah. And again, we're not in the dark. And we were, the LED lights would have fired off. Well, yeah, that's a black tile version of it. It transfers light, I can push right through it. The one we're developing the first year for the fish tanks. That's another one we're working on, and I was going to make the transparent screen separate, but I'm just going to keep that and AdTech together as one. It's so much easier. And on top of that, we can say, hey, look, not only can advertise in your window, but you can take it home and watch a movie off of it, which you ain't lying. So let's see. Let's see what else we have on here. I do demonstrations, but they're drawn out. Let me see. Got music playing 1 minute. Music not playing next minute. The overlap cardboard boxes don't really read anything. Here's gonna have a white screen to stick it behind. All the new technology we have, we're showing off. We're going to have samples for everything, and everything's going to be priced at an extremely reasonable price. Like I said, if you're working part-time with minimum wage, you can get one of these screens. So that wouldn't be a problem. And again, projectors have to cost a lot of money. So it wouldn't be hard to get one. They're very affordable. Kid on a paper route could afford one of these things. We got other systems that the larger ones a little more, because again they're bigger tiles. The cost, right? We gotta ship them by freight. No, if they break it, we're gonna ship them by freight. Well, it depends on the size too. I gotta get the 48 by 48 over here. I figure exactly what we're gonna ship that, because 48s make really big screens. 48 by 48s make very big screens. This screen's about 4 feet high. So they make very big screens. But the bigger tiles, the ones that come in at 36 by 72, that's actually a screen, or it could be a giant tile, and 48 by 96. Those are big tiles. We're literally building big screens. That's like each one of those tiles are 106 inches. So So we'll have samples on everything. If you not ready, make the purchase for the screen. Get one sample, so order a sample, and then you can go from there. We might have a sample pack. A sample pack would be nice because then we have the gamer involved with that. We'll have like the clear, we'll have the black, we'll have different ones in the sample pack. Now, we have to put this out there because we know we got individuals at the end of the day that got sticky fingers. The stuff's going to have patents on it. It's going to have trademarks on it. Everything you could possibly think of. The nightmares you don't want to walk into court with. And I will have attorneys backing this on every freaking level. Which means, if you decide you want to do something stupid, keep in mind, you will lose your freedom because we will throw you in jail and you will lose everything you have. Simple and plain, to the point. So, you can get the screen, enjoy it, set it up, have fun with it. And if you don't like it, that's freedom of speech. I support it 100%. But when you start doing things like darkening the product or trying to do something to tamper with it, you're going to find yourself in court being sued for a lot of money. Now, we got people who understand that. You ever heard of a similarity lawsuit? Ever seen one of those before? That's if you come so close to a company's name that you literally almost match it, but it's off by one, you'll be sued for it. It's called similarity lawsuit. Look it up. It's actually a real thing. So, basically, a friend of mine, she had something she drew up, and I guess the person drew up something too, and they filed against her. So they basically first will ask you to remove it and take it down. If you refuse to after that, then they'll sue you. Well, anyway, yeah, they were able to prove that they had it first. And because they were able to prove they had it first, even when they didn't even have it set in stone, they proved that by advertising it, they had it first. And yeah, they were able to sue her. First, she got a cease and desist letter, and she backed down, and she took it down. She said, well, we'll start with something else. Yeah, it's called similarity lawsuit. They can get you on that. They can say there's a confusion there because they don't want your company being confused with another company, and the fact that you could cause problems for them by having the same name, you can be sued for it. Yeah, so we already know somebody did that one already, so guess what? You got another lawsuit coming. Can't do that. It's called similarity lawsuits. I know for a fact, I used to have a screen called Silver Diamond. I had to remove it. Black Diamond said I had to remove it. Which they said your name is too close to ours. Which they were right on that, it was too close. I said, okay, no problem. Just remove it. That's all. No big deal. So as you can see, beautiful colors, 100% background, the black. You can even see the water drops on the black background. That's why I say contrast is extremely important. Now, for the gray owners, at the end of the day, they get mad at me every time I mention contrast. If contrast is not important, why do they put it on projectors? Answer me that question. Why do you depend on projectors with high contrast if contrast is not important? I mean, it's killing me. It's literally killing me. It's putting me to sleep. White levels are absolutely incredible. Yes, it can blend into a gray screen easily. It's like our technology over here. Quantum can blend easily into a gray screen with no problem. That's really exciting. You saw that demonstration with the lights out? A cell phone. You just took a cell phone and take out a screen. They don't ever show you. That's why they don't show you that though. They show you on a standalone. They never show you on next to another high-end screen. They never do that. Yeah, the colors wash out. That's what I said. Anytime you watch a gray screen has to show the one thing it can't do. The one thing that a gray screen can't do is show you contrast levels. Not only is it supposed to show you those contrast levels, it's supposed to show you the comparison of its gray paint versus other gray paints and which one pulls the highest contrast levels, because that's what it's competing against. But you don't see that. You just see a lot of color. And even when they're showing you color, they're still washed out. But they're supposed to be showing you those contrast levels. Very important. 4K snow screensavers. You count how many times we show you snow screensavers versus how many times they show you contrast levels in fully lit environments. And there you go. We constantly show up white levels. We have to. It's a black screen. What's the point of me showing you the contrast level? I'll show you the contrast to show you how deep they can pick up. But we know the screen's going to pick up contrast. It's black. It has to pick up things that it's not known to pick up. That's why you watch these demonstrations on gray screens. They're constantly showing you color levels. I'm like, forget the color levels. Show me some heavy contrast levels. Do this in a fully lit environment. Never get it. Always, they turn out the lights. And they always pick a video that they know. So that way they can go, you know what, I'm going to get the lights here and show me this with the lights out, knowing darn well that a contrast level is about to pop. They give up information anyway, because when they show off menus, the YouTube menu is only two colors. It's black or white. That's it. There's no gray in between. Any menu that you use for any streaming service, they're black. So if you pull up in there, you'll see the screen turn gray automatically. You're just supposed to, in every demonstration, this is what you should be seeing. Lights on, contrast. Lights on, contrast in every single demonstration of the gray screen. So if you get lights off, color. Lights off, contrast. Lights off, color. Lights on, a little color. No contrast. That's it. When you get home, you get the rude awakening. You get the turn on the lights and like, what the frick happened to my screen scenario. Anybody want to argue with me on that one? Do me a favor. Shut me up. Go do a demonstration. Turn all your lights on like we have in here. Show me a contrast level on a projector. Heck, if you got a window in there, slide your screen over by that window. I mean, in the window, literally. And show us something. Because if not, I don't see it. We always show up white levels. You got to see that. It's one of the things you have to see in your screen. I guess you didn't know. Get ready to fly. I did some videos with the light next to it on the screen. I'm loading those up. Right now they're on Facebook loading. And I'll be back over here to load. That's black technology. Make sure we're skipping. Are we skipping here? Yeah, we are skipping here. All right, we're going to have to come back in and basically, because it's skipping, I don't want to do any skipping on here. We'll come back in and we'll... There you go. There we go. Get that little slow down for a little. Let's see what's going on here. Are we still skipping? All right, we're good. What about in our video? We're not skipping. Okay, good. There we go. So that's two gray screens up there. I'm going to do it again so that way you don't think that I did anything funny on camera. Mind you, I got to do this thing all day. And when I'm in a showroom that we're getting at the end of the day, I have to do this every single day in the showroom. Or my people that be working there with me, they got to do it every day. So can't do any fake stuff. It's virtually impossible. A bunch of people watching me every single day. Okay. My projector, so you can see my screen is actually black and not gray. See two different shades of gray. As I said before, like people are saying that we're using special camera equipment. Oh my goodness. I'll explain something to you. If we catch you in a video making that statement in social media, I'm going to be in a storefront. How the freak would I be to pull that one off? I'm here. How would I be to pull that off? Any place I was at where there were other public people around me watching the screen at the same time watching, how would that even be possible to do that? So if you did make that statement, it's going to cost you a lot of money. You find your YouTube channel if you're making that statement saying we're using special equipment, whatever, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Because again, it's a statement you can't make against me. So, yeah, get scared. Because chances are, if you did say it, no point in deleting the video, we already got it. That'll tell you right there in front of the door. No point in deleting it. That means we knew about this a long time ago. We know about this. We're under statute of limitations. We can still get you. We know that for a fact. So if you did make that statement, don't bother deleting it because we already got it. I had people watching. Wait. Just because I do live streams doesn't mean I'm not the only one on here watching at the end of the day. That's what naysayers have to understand. I got people on here watching for negative activity to our company so we can drag them into a courtroom. So just because you don't see me pop up doesn't mean it's just me. It can be anybody in there watching you at the end of the day, recording all you and documenting you and getting you ready for court. Ah, you didn't think about that, did you? And if you say, well, we'll use a fake YouTube account. Yeah, that does not work at all, period. Just to let you know. I know people in the IT world at the end of the day will laugh at you if you make that statement toward them. No, that does not work. But anyway, yeah. So I got to be in a showroom, so I don't know how that would even be possible. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to back it up. You're going to hold Mr. Phone right here in a courtroom, and you're going to show us all how it's done. And if you can't do it, then guess what? You're going to lose $1 million, which you don't have. We know you don't have it. We don't care. We're going to sue you for $1 million. So don't make dumb statements. You can't back up. That's how it works. I'll blend into that screen. Let me see what we got going on here over this. Gee, about everything and anything, just to basically make somebody look bad at the end of the day. And look at that, it just ended up backfiring. So, oh well. Till then, let's show how amazing our black technology is. So as you see the areas right here, see where it's coming up in gray here? It's coming up in gray there. This is what you usually see gray screens do. I'll blow it up so you can see a little closer. Now you see it? There you go. That's what they do, because they can't read black at all, period. Especially not in this lighting, they are not doing it. So as you see, this is where they'll come up. You'll see them start to change. That gray ashy look to the screen, when they bring up menus and stuff like that, that tells you right there that the screen is not reading a contrast level at all. Can't pick it up. Now, how would they improve this? Well, they buy a projector with a higher contrast than me, which again is going to cost you more money. And they'll put you in a darker environment, which is definitely going to change your environment by a lot. Because you know how dark an environment would have to be to keep a gray screen black? It has to be pretty dark. Mind you, a cell phone flashlight. If I were to pull one out, screen's gone. So guess what? You're going to be in the dark. Super dark. Super, super dark, dark, dark. To walk around with one of them lights on top of your head like you're mining in a freaking cave for like freaking years. What do they call it? The miners. When you wear those lights in the front, you have to wear one of those to walk around. Don't point it toward the screen, it'll disappear. So what they'll do is they'll put it in a dark environment, as you've seen people do, put it in a dark environment and go, oh, look, you see color. No. No, you do not see colors. Let's see if these screens can make our screen unwatchable. I know you're waiting for that. I can read your mind. So, oh my goodness, Ken, put it on this. We've done this dozens of times. I will literally do this video about 100 times, do it over and over again, and the same people will come in and ask me the same question. That's why I think you have Alzheimer's. 4K snow screensavers. It gave me something else, but I think we got it. All right, so let's see if we can come up. Black is black paint. Do we got black paint over here? We do got black paint. You should always have this stuff handy on you. Like people have gray screens. Where is your gray screen side-by-side demonstrations? See? So I can take a record on that. Better have those tests in there. You need to have those tests. We're going to need one of these. We're not going to have one. I'll put the lighter one up there, which is the better one. So let's see what happens. Oh, already from the door. Look at that. You can see that from the door. From the door. Now keep in mind, every time I do a black on black demonstration, we do it for fun. And we ask them to do one, a gray on gray. It upsets them. They get mad. It terrifies them to do it. Okay, it just tells you at the end of the day. Should we have a contest? How many times we do that test compared to when they do it? It won't go well. All right, let's see. Let's hit with this one first. Boom. Let's see if the gray screen can make our screen look unwatchable. No. No, it doesn't. Not at all. Now, if a certain person is watching this, you already know what's coming, right? Yeah, we got you in a lot of videos doing false demonstrations against our products, claiming that our products came with the same color as that black paint over there. Man. Right now, for him, money is not an issue. I'm not saying it's not an issue. He's just not rich. But from where he's going, being sued is not the worst part. The worst part is to be time. Because for each one of those times you did a video, that carries a 10 to 30-year prison sentence. And you did a lot of them. So you're looking at a lot of time in jail. I told you he's going to spend the rest of his life in the prison system. Too much. We did way too much. Way too much. So I'm going to have you do that for me in court. I know he's not going to like it at all. I know his hands are going to shake and his feet are going to wobble, but you're going to do it. You did it in your apartment. You should have no problem doing it in the courtroom, right? All right, there we go. Or anybody else who did that one. I'm going to have you go over and do that demonstration. I know you don't want to do it. I know 100% you do not want to do that, but you are going to do it because you don't have a choice in that courtroom. Once you put your hand on that Bible and you swear under that oath, anything you say in it will give you an additional 7 years in jail. So you will do it. You'll do everything my attorney tells you to do. You're going to back up everything you said in your video. We're going to play your video in court so everybody can hear it, and you're going to react that whole thing all over again. But this time around, instead of being on YouTube and spreading a bunch of slander, this is going to cost you time and money. You ready for that? I don't think you are. You know, the way the economy, my sister was right, the way the economy is going, you know, everything is so expensive now. You can't afford a lawsuit. You can't. Can't afford to have money removed out of your paycheck to give to us because you owe us. Can't afford that. And look at the situation you got yourself into. So you do know that, yeah, you sue somebody, they're going to have to pay you. They'll take it out of their checks. You can garnish your paychecks. So keep in mind, if you think you can spend all your money, and no. They get to your check before it gets on that bankroll and a payroll comes on. You'll see we pop up. It'll be the name of, not us, it'll be the name of the debt collectors that are taking the money out of you. So they'll get to your check before you get to it. You know, they take everything else out of your check. You'll see us up there because you got to pay that money out. So you'll be working for me. I tell you something, I would rather have it so if they could skip the criminal charges and just have them work. That's all. Because then you'll be paying me. Every time you get your check, when you get up in the morning and you drive to work and you put in those long hours that you have to put in, I'm going to get a piece of that, everything you make. I'd rather have it that way. I'd rather let you keep all your stuff, right? Let you keep all your stuff, and we don't care about that. Just keep all your stuff, and you have to continue to work to pay me off. I'd rather have it that way. Because then it's better that way. It's a constant reminder to you on how badly you've messed up. Every time you get paid, you'll see the people you owe money to, and you know that you work for me. But at least I'll be nice about it at the end of the day. It wouldn't make it so much. I'd make it you have to pay off a certain amount. Because we want you working forever. Who the freak wants to work forever? I'm going to give you a constant reminder who you work for now. You work for me. The income tax check, I think I'm entitled to half of it. I can take all of it. I can't. You're entitled to take the entire thing if you want. But I would take probably about half of it, because I'm pretty sure there's other things you want to do at the end of the day. Maybe something for your kids or something like that. If it was just you at the end of the day and you didn't have any kids, you're screwed on so many levels. It's not even funny. If you have kids in the family to take care of, I can consider at the end of the day being more lenient with these lawsuits due to the fact that there are people that need to be taken care of. But if your kids are already grown and out the door, oh my goodness, you got the biggest bullseye on the top of your head. We're going to tear you a new one like there's no tomorrow. You're going to be broke for the rest of your life. And you are definitely going to jail. Other than that, you don't do dumb stuff like that. Come on, man. We do this stuff all day long. We have to do these. We have to do this. Every time somebody comes in the room, the first thing they say is the match black paint, the match black paint. That was the first day I came here. The first thing they asked was that match black paint. Literally asked me, can I do the same thing with black paint? It comes up every single time. So if you have a gray screen, how much more it's going to come up also too. Ooh, let's get some colors in here. Do 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 do. Let me get that black picture real quick. Let's go and get ourselves a red screen. Red screen. Remember I told you about that whole color thing that you have to have white levels. If you don't have white levels, your screen can't read. So as you can see right here, gray screen can't read jack next to this black technology we have. I mean, of course, because it's that tech. That tech's got the same craziness to it. The black technology did it too. We did it, the lights out, and the gray screen couldn't pick up, the white screen couldn't pick up. Yep. You're going to test that pretty soon. Oh yeah, we haven't forgot it, right? He's going to send it up to him. He's going to test it out. He's going to do it. He's also going to show a box of gray paints too, going to send it too for him to do. Keep him busy. Since he has too much to do in his time, I got a whole lot of gray paint I'm going to send up to you. Every month until we go to court. Because you need to do these tests to back your company, because your company's being accused of fraud for ripping people off, knowing it's house paint. But not only knowing that it's house paint, because you sold that product as if it wasn't house paint, you're being sued on those terms, because even after finding out, you continue to sell the product as if it didn't happen. That's where he got himself in trouble. Now, if he had came out and he matched that stuff, we also he matched. And he came out and said, well, you know, hey, we made a mistake, you know, the product's matching. Whoever made a previous order, I'll give you back your money. And from now on, we're going to do testing underneath this product. So if it comes up testing this, you know, we know at the end of the day, you know, we can't sell it to you. That's what you should have did, but you didn't do that. Because you were so worried about me at the end of the day, about saying, well, I can't show him at the end of the day my product that match house paint. Really? You let the devil tell you that biggest lie in the face of the planet? We all saw it. We were all there. We all watched it. I guarantee the devil came in there and said, hey, don't go apologize to your customers. Act like it never even happened. Nobody will know. Really? We all watched that. Everybody watched it. Everybody saw it. The same video plays on a bunch of forum sites. We all saw it. We saw it. You match house paint. So with that being said, if you had came out there and apologized to your customers and admitted what you have done, they couldn't get you. Because at least you owned up to it. But you didn't even own up to it. You continued to sell it. A year, and until now, well, these websites out of business now, but a year into that, he was trying to come up with new ways to swindle people on that paint that everybody saw, match house paint. So that's what got him in trouble. That's what we're able to file against him. It's like recalling hot dogs. And the hot dogs have Salmonella and E. coli in them. They're infected. Now, a store owner, knowing this, could have disposed of those hot dogs. Or he could have sent them back. Basically, you know, they get their money back and then send back a recall or whatever. But he didn't do that. He went in, he basically remarked everything to make it look like it was brand new and continue to sell it in the store. If somebody gets sick and die off of that, they're going to go right to the trace of his store, and they're going to find out he had hot dogs in there he was selling that had a recall on them. He'd go to jail for that. Get sued for that. So finding out that your product was matching house paint on that particular level, you should have put either a recall or to get it back. If you're working with a company, if you're working with a distributor company, you would have to do a recall on it. But before you can even go to a distributorship company, they're going to ask you that question anyway. Like, how much of this stuff is going to match house paint? Because again, if I'm investing in your company and your stuff matches house paint, I'll lose money in the process too. So you have to go through those testing regardless whether you're going to do it or not. But anyway, yeah. Person should have gotten rid of the hot dogs, throwing them in the trash if you can get your money. So it's a loss at the end of the day. Or if you know, basically, if you bought it from a legit supplier, you could send it back to the legit supplier. Some people buy stuff from not legit suppliers, and they have a different policy, and their policy is a no return policy, so you're stuck with it. You may get it for a cheaper deal, but still you run the risk of getting that, not being able to get that money back. Or if you're dealing with the supplier itself, then it's a different story. Because now, at the end of the day, you're talking to the supplier. They're gonna come back and recall because even they have rules and regulations they have to follow. So with that being said, yeah, you would have to. I would be scared to death if this guy ever owned a food store. I would be. I think he would pull every sneaky, slimy thing in the book. I think he would have a lot of food in there that's past his due date. Look at the stuff he does already. That's why I said, I hate to put it out here on this video, but that. When he said he was going to start his own business and 3D printing, man, you would have screwed that business up. Because you're sneaky. You do dirty stuff at the end of the day. You're not a very honest person. And on top of that, with your attitude and your temper along the way, I can see you doxing people's addresses and all that stuff. First thing, I got to explain this to him real quick. I know if he's in the room or not. When you dox someone's address to your website, you doxed it to your website, your business, your place of business. You doxed it there. No one's going to trust you ever. They'll never trust you. I don't care what business you get, they'll never trust you. They won't trust you with a piece of their information, not ever. Because they don't care who it is. You can sit there and say, well, I hate that person, because it doesn't make a difference. It's the fact that you did it. And that's why they will never trust you. You damaged yourself at the end of the day. You thought it was funny to post my pictures on your website and stuff like that in the day. You destroyed yourself. It doesn't make a difference who I am at the end of the day. The fact that you did it, the fact that you went past that, over that line where you're supposed to be a professional and you crossed over and did that nonsense, nobody will touch you with a 10-foot pole. Companies saw you do that mess, because I hear it come up when I talk to companies. They know of him. They won't touch him. Because he does dirty stuff like that, and they'll liable get them sued in the process. On top of that, damage their good name. We don't copy you, he copies us. If you know, he's over there with our YouTube channel right now copying it. Because again, he does stuff like that. And when companies see you do stuff like that, and they know of us, when they see you do stuff like that, that's why they won't touch him. He did more damage to himself at the end of the day. So yeah. All that being smart on camera and doxing and carrying on and acting up and everything, he destroyed himself. Yeah. Let's go over to blue. Blue screen. It's just in a way, it's talking to him, businessman to businessman, so you can understand. This has nothing to do with our little squabble back and forth. We'll settle that in court in front of a judge. I can't wait for that one. But other than that, businessman to businessman, on real property, running a business correctly, you can't start any business. First of all, you're not going to start any business anyway. You're going to have problems on that one right there from Bill. I tell you, it requires a ton of paperwork. It's a chemical. People don't understand that when you have a chemical, you're going to have to prove it's water-based. There's a whole lot of stuff you got to go to. But that stuff at the end of the day is a little bit more harder to get around. It really is. They require a lot of paperwork for it. A lot of paperwork. I got a friend of mine who owns a business. He does that. He does. He used to do 3D printing for car parts. But there's a whole lot of stuff. Plus, they had FBI had to get involved in stuff because they make sure the equipment that he had, he wasn't printing ghost guns. Oh yeah, they dig into your stuff. They will dig into your stuff to make sure you're not doing anything illegal with that equipment. So yes, a lot of stuff you got to go through with it. You had to get special dumpsters, paperwork for special dumpsters. You had to have a special building. You had an industrial building. That's what you had to pick up, because you can't be in any other building with that stuff. So yeah, yep. He went through a lot of stuff, and he's talking about starting a business in that field. How are you going to start a business in that field? And you did the nonsense you did. You did a perjury on an LLC, and who knows whatever other stuff he did. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he won't be to do any business. The only way he's going to be to do business is that he does it off YouTube. Nobody knows about it. He does it on the side. But either than that, still he's going to need serious documents to do something like that. Industrial, that with those kind of chemicals. Because you're going to have somewhere to put it at. If you're getting all these containers of these chemicals in, you're going to have somewhere to dispose of them. You can't throw that stuff in regular trash. You might be to get away with, like if you have aerosol cans, you may get away with maybe 1 or 2 aerosol cans in the trash. You about 30, 40 aerosol cans? Are you crazy at the end of the day? Yeah, you're going to have all kinds of problems on your hands. You got to dispose of that stuff in a special dumpster. So when that truck comes up, they got a special truck that picks up those particular, those paints and stuff like that. How is he disposing of it? Cleaning out content. I hope you're not dumping it down the sink. Because that's another issue right there. That's a serious problem right there if you're dumping chemicals down the sink. And you know what they'll do? They got a unit that they can put down the sink to see if you're actually dumping chemicals down. It'll pick it up, it'll read it. Some kind of infrared system they use. Yep, because guess what? I know people that work for license inspection. I found a whole lot of stuff at the end of the day. I didn't know that if you're dumping paint down your drain, you can find out. They'll even go down there and dig your pipes up and pull them apart. They do not play with that kind of stuff. They say, well, if you got a chemical factory and you're doing stuff, and there's a good chance they have a hunch that you may be tossing something down the sink, yeah, they're going to dig your pipes up. So, yeah. On top of that, you can't operate that anyway, an apartment anyway, because, again, you got other people around you. You can't have other people around you while you're operating like that. How many people want to live in an apartment while somebody's operating a meth lab? Anybody? You know what happens to those things? Things explode from time to time, right? Would you like to have a meth lab over top of you, underneath you? Of course you would. Like to have a ton of aerosol cans over top you, underneath you, something with 20, 30 aerosol cans? No, you wouldn't. Because another question you got to come up with is, when he goes on vacation, does he leave the air conditioner on? Because he got pets in there. If the air conditioner is not on, and you got pets in there, that's an issue, because that's a safety hazard for the pets, especially with those chemicals. And if you have no air conditioner on, those cans can implode easily. If you have air conditioner on, if it's too cold in there, cans can implode. Cans can implode in the cold, and they can implode in the heat. So you have to have in the room light temperature environment. Oh, we're going to blue. So he thinks I say this because of out of anger. No, buddy. We're going to court. We're good. I'm good with that. I'll see you in court. You explain to a judge when we get in there. I'm telling you, as man to man, as a businessman, you can't have those type of that equipment in that apartment, especially with it being so compressed right now. Can't have that in there. No. I'm surprised you didn't have that paint in there. Blue screen. You go to anybody's place, you will never see 4 or 5 gallons of paint. And they're freaking in the kitchen or anywhere. You would never see that. You might see a little can of paint under the sink. That's basically about it. Maybe a quarter underneath there. But you're not going to see enough in there to run a store. No, you can't have all that stuff in there. Heck no. You got to put that stuff in the garage or basement. 2 places you can have it at. You can store chemicals in there. Not a lot, but you can store some stuff in there. A little more than usual. Most people have maybe 3 or 4 gallons of paint. They've been painting something, they put it in the garage or basement or something. And they put it in the back in a cool area, nothing near the heating system or nothing like that. But you can't have that in your apartment. Oh, we're at blue screen. Let's do slow color changer. Slow color changer. You don't listen to anybody. He's a hard-headed person. He does not know how to listen. As to going through life full blast is a bad idea. Now, I've done this myself. The motorized projection screens. I got some motorized projection screens that came in. I painted them up, sold them for $2,700. Found out they was going to cost me $1,300 to get the screen out there. To go to Florida, mind you, I'm in Pennsylvania. Florida is close, so it's right there. Yeah, it cost me $1,300 to ship those screens out. I had no idea it was that expensive. Because when you go to the post office has it up to 100. It has to add up to 113 or 14 or 15, somewhere in that range, So your measurements or your height, your weight, and all that stuff can't go past that particular mark. You go past that 100 and 1213, it's freight automatically going to do it. It can't take it. And with a motorized projection screen, since it has this huge, massive motor on it, they won't take it because it's going freight, and they don't do freight. So you have to go through UPS or FedEx. And UPS, they don't charge by flat rate, they charge by zone. Both of them charge by zone. So you can pay 50 bucks here, but you can pay 100 bucks here. It depends on the zone and how far it's going out. Mine, even though it wasn't going that far out, it was a zone issue, and they were charging me all this money. So they were going to hit me with, $1,000. It was going to be $1,000 to ship that thing out. That's not the worst of it. $1,000 and an additional $300 for the lift truck to come pick it up. Because they had to bring a truck to come pick it up. You got to pay for that truck to come out and get your stuff. And I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And the jacked up thing about it, the truck couldn't get up the street. We had to walk the screen down and give the truck a It cost me 300 bucks to do that. Just to stick it on a freaking lift and put it inside. That was $300. So about 12, they gave me the break. They gave me a little break and a little bit here and there. So roughly it cost me around $1,200. Now mind, you got to pay for some equipment. I paid $600 for the screen and all that. So yeah, I made some money out of it, but not the money I thought I was going to make out of it. And then I did some research and found out that a lot of these big companies, the reason why they can ship screens for free, because they got corporate license and all that shit. So all that, not to answer the question, but all that equipment. So anyway, bottom line is they ship out a certain amount. SHIP people. They ship out a certain amount. What happens is they get massive discounts because they're doing it. They're shipping out tons of these screens. But if you're a smaller business in the day, you don't get those perks because you're not shipping out the quantities they're doing. So you get a little bit of breaks, maybe get $200-300 off here and there, but not at the level they're getting. So it pays. It's a little different. So they do have perks where you can basically save a little, but technically you got to charge more for the screen and everything in order to see something out of it. So it's not worth shipping a screen because the screen costs so much money. You really would have to have some serious perks to do it. It does cost some money. That's why we don't do motorized projection screens. I learned from that. That problem I had that went down. So he was doing the same thing on his channel, and I tried to be nice and say, hey, you might not want to do that because this can get really expensive. And this jerker contacts me and goes, oh, you're just jealous at the end of the day, and this and I'm like, okay, whatever. Try to be nice at the end of the day. And then later on, he goes on his YouTube channel and says, oh, we can't ship it because it costs too much money by freight. Duh. I already told you that already. After he bought the screens already, now he got to ship them out. And talking about cutting off your nose in spite of your face, he charged way super cheap for these screens, thinking that the shipping charge was going to be cheap and it was more expensive. So he ended up paying more money out of his pocket to ship the screen out. Yeah. Now listen. Don't listen. Vinyl surfaces, that's the reason why we don't make blackout cloths out of vinyl. That cost me a lot of money. It was a very expensive mistake. I bought this vinyl material, the tarps that they have. I thought they made great projection screens. Rolled over top of them, advertised. As a matter of fact, I got on my YouTube channel, advertising everything. And found out that when you fold them together, people, when they got them, they couldn't unstick the screen because there's a moisture. You have moisture. Moisture can form in your paint. It can form from heat. It can form from a lot of things can form in there. But when you got vinyl, which is a very interesting temperamental surface, they kind of basically, whatever was going on with the paint, it basically leaked. It gives off a little moisture. And the moisture comes out, it actually stuck and fused the screens together where anyone pulled them apart, they got stuck. I had to return all that money. Well, not return it. I actually had to go in and I had to some people want their money back and gave their money back, and the other half basically still wanted the technology. So I had to figure out something different. So what I did was I got some rice paper. Rice paper is perfect. So rice paper, what I should have did was line the screens with rice paper. When you line the screens with rice paper, when the screen starts to basically leak a little bit, like the, what do you call it, when the screen starts to cure, a curing process, it seeps into the rice paper. And that basically keeps your screens from sticking. And you learn. That's how you learn from your mistakes, from shipping and stuff like that. You learn from that process. But some people don't listen. So knowing this, how temperamental this surface was, I did some testing on it. How well is it working outside? It works horrible outside. It doesn't work on our stuff. It just slides right off of it. The demonstrations on that.